My first impression of the Ibis Doha here in the capital of Qatar is that you get a lot for your money if you compare to other hotels in Doha and also if you compare to other Ibis properties. The room is basic but functional, and the style here with the decorations around the TV and the decorations over the bed there looks exactly like other Ibis hotels where I recently stayed in Geneva and London. But a few things do stand out. For example, there's a phone here by the desk, but there's also a phone in the bathroom that is not typically something that you get at a basic value hotel like an Ibis. As for the facilities, there is a full gym downstairs as well as an outdoor pool, and it looked really popular. I think people are really enjoying themselves at this place. One floor below that, there's also meeting rooms and prayer rooms, and I think this hotel caters to a mixture of leisure and business travelers. I spoke briefly with a very friendly assistant manager of the hotel, and he mentioned that the Adagio, which is the other half of this complex, that attracts more business travelers who are staying for longer because that is an apartment hotel. Overall, the staff has been very welcoming, very friendly, but they should perhaps look into some of their processes. To even get into the hotel, I had to go through a security check. That is normal here in Doha. The other two hotels that I've stayed this past week have also had a bag scan, so that's normal. Yesterday, I was invited to complete an online check-in, but when I arrived today, it is as if that online check-in went nowhere because the staff member behind the check-in desks still asked me to reconfirm my email address and my phone number, which is exactly the type of information that I inputted into the online check-in. I was so hopeful when I got to the check-in desk because there was an iPad in front of me. I thought maybe there's self-check-in here, but no, that was only for displaying the agreement that you had to sign to check in. I mentioned that I have a very early flight tomorrow morning. I'm going to depart at 6 a.m., yet he still told me about the breakfast offering, which is, I think, from 6 to 10. I think he could have showed a little bit more adaptability to the customer he was facing with rather than just going through his script. One thing that he did really well is that because I'm an Accor Silver member, I do get a welcome drink. I temporarily lost access to the app where the drink voucher is typically located, and he offered to just talk directly with the staff in the restaurant so that I could get my welcome drink without having access to the app. That was a nice, proactive way of handling the situation. There are two food outlets on site. There is the Charlie's Corner restaurant, and then there is the backroom bar. I had lunch at the Charlie's Corner, and I did very much enjoy the chicken dish, a local Qatari dish that they prepared, but the service was not excellent. Firstly, it took 30 minutes from ordering until I got my lunch, and that was particularly bothersome because this was sold as the express lunch menu. I would have thought that express means that they have a big amount of them and they're quickly ready, but that was not the case. The waitress also asked me 3 times how my meal was, and maybe that's a little bit too much. As I was finishing my dessert, the waitress brought the bill, and that's fine, but I was still eating my dessert when she came back and asked if I'm ready to pay. Like, dude, I'm still eating. Please, relax. Nonetheless, the chicken dish that I had, it came with yogurt on the side, was super yummy. Another thing I noted, which was perhaps unusual, is that they conducted an interview in the restaurant. The restaurant has 2 halves. I picked the one that had no other people in it. But a few minutes later, one person did show up, and he was the interviewee, and he was then interviewed by somebody who looked like a chef and somebody who looked like the hotel manager or similar. As an HR professional myself, it was just interesting to listen to somebody else's interview. On this same trip, I also stayed at the Fairmont Doha in Lusail and the Raffles Doha in the same building in Lusail, and this is now my 3rd hotel of the trip. Obviously, this is not a luxury hotel, this is a budget hotel, but I think the Ibis Doha really represents real good value. I paid for this trip myself so that you get a non-sponsored and authentic travel review right here on Markus Travels. The price I paid was about $50 a night, and that is outstanding value. I live in Switzerland. There is nothing that you can get for $50 a night. Even the capsule at the Zurich Airport Capsule Hotel is about $100 a night. The other comparison that I make is that the last Ibis I stayed at was in London, and that cost about $250 a night for exactly the same product. The exact same wardrobe design, the exact same design on the wall here, the exact same design behind the bed as well. So by that comparison, the Ibis here in Doha is miles better than something that cost 5 times as much in London for exactly the same product. If you're getting value from the video, please hit the like button. Thank you for doing that. The location of the Ibis Doha, I don't know too much about it because I took an Uber here and I haven't actually had the time to walk around the neighborhood yet. I wanted to record this video while I still have natural light for my camera setup because I didn't bring an external light on this trip. Let's also mention a few quirks of the room. When I arrived, there was something that looked like a towel on one of the beds. I don't exactly know what that is for. If you do know, please let me know in the comments. Another thing is here by the desk where I'm sitting, on my left there is a bench and there is a phone placed on the bench, and that's fine, but half the bench is actually unusable because it's tucked away in the corner here, blocked by the desk. So I'm thinking maybe there's another way to arrange the furniture here so that the entire bench actually becomes usable, because it does have a nice soft faux leather cushion on it. By the way, exactly the same bench as in London. And one more thing that you wouldn't necessarily expect from an Ibis, there's a little fridge down here as well below the desk. Yeah, that is a nice addition. Another fun detail is that they have this leaflet about sustainability, but they just forgot to update something. Let me read it for you. At local hotel name, we are building up to a more sustainable future by, and then they say what they're doing. Come on, just put the actual name of the hotel there. That's how this template is supposed to be used. The view out the window here is not really much to write home about because there's the parking lot and then there's the Adagio on the kind of other side of this core area. And then there are these kind of grates that block the view towards the right a little bit. I'm not sure what that is about, but I mean, you wouldn't stay in this part of Doha for the views. Another odd thing about the check-in process is that usually when you approach the check-in desk, you can just hand over your passport. But this guy specifically, explicitly asked for my booking confirmation number. Now, because I didn't have access to my Accor app at the moment, I wasn't able to easily look it up. Normally, he should be able to just look at my passport and get it that way. But for some reason, they strongly preferred to have the booking confirmation number. So that's a tip. Just have it ready if you stay here. And maybe you should stay here. This was a really good experience. I have 2 more hotel reviews from here in Doha, Qatar. Click or tap the screen up here to watch my video of the Fairmont Doha, or click or tap the screen down here to watch my review of the Raffles Doha. Both of those are located in the same building complex. It looks very impressive, but there were significant issues with both of them. So check out those videos now. Thank you for watching Markus Travels, and I will see you in the next video.